Hi everybody, I'm Sonia Choquette. Welcome back to my channel. This is part 3 of a 3-part series on the all-important, hugely important first chakra, how to be grounded, how to be supported, nourished, and really safe in your skin. So if you're new to my channel, welcome, welcome. I hope that you see part 1 and 2. And while you're at it, please subscribe and hit that notification bell as well so that you don't miss any future conversations on how to take care of your spirit and live an extraordinary life. Part 3 of the first chakra. This is such an important part of our energetic nature that we just had to break it down into pieces, because it's the platform, it's the foundation for your whole life. It's like if you're going to build a skyscraper, you don't build it on sand. You want to have a solid foundation. That's what the first chakra is. It is your energetic foundation. Now, in the first tutorial, the first lesson, I talked about what your body needs, what the basic awareness of when you're grounded and not grounded. Part 2, we talked about the attitude and how to create a grounded life and self-interest. And now here in part 3, I want to address a very practical element of being grounded, your environment. It's very hard to be grounded if you are not in a good environment, because the root of being grounded is to feel safe and capable of thriving. So if you are in chaos and you are in unsafe conditions and you are in energy that doesn't resonate with you and really wears you out, it's going to be very difficult to feel grounded. And I am very sadly aware that a lot of us are not in good grounded conditions. So I want to begin by suggesting that you recognize that it's important to have good grounding conditions, and 2, you have a right to that. And 3, it's up to you to make those choices. And 4, you don't have to be in an emergency, because goodness knows that'll only make it worse. But do decide that I am going to create for myself a good environment. And you can take it by step, but we begin by taking a look at the environment you are presently in. Now let's start with just basics, physical. If you live in a mess, your nervous system is going to be agitated and your spirit is going to be disturbed. Now, I'm not talking about that we have to live in a sterile environment. And I'm not even talking about that you necessarily need everything nice and orderly. But what I am talking about is what you are around, what is in your environment feels good to you. So if you're an artist, it might be messy. You might have your paints and your tablets and your books and your poetry and your paper. It's okay, as long as it feels good to you. It's when things start getting out of control, like pots and pans and garbage and things piled up that have no meaning, and collecting things that disturb your spirit, that is actually deeply ungrounding. So I would suggest that you have a good objective look around and ask yourself, if you really want to be grounded and really feel empowered, if you could take a look at your environment and see, how can I improve it? What can I do to make the energy that I'm in feel better to me? Now, I'm a really big advocate of simplicity. I mean, I was Marie Kondoing before Marie Kondo was even born. So I do think that less is more, because it is very grounding. But I also recommend that and recognize that the divine feminine in us is like a rich, luscious garden. So we need what we need, and it's just what we don't need, we don't need. So if your environment disturbs you, you have to do something about it if you want to get grounded. And if you need help, then admit it and ask for help. I actually have clients and even good friends, some of whom tend to be a bit on the collectors, even pour over into the hoarders experience. And it really ungrounds them. It traumatizes them. It's like, I'm not judging, but their own experience is really unhappy. So if that's the case, then I would say take a look and be honest and get your environment in your home as organized as you can and as uplifting as you can for you. I know that I told a story once in one of my books. It's so funny. A sister of mine gave me, she had a wedding present of a beautiful painting by Salvador Dali. And she gave me this painting and I was so impressed. But the truth is, I didn't like it. It was scary and creepy and it wasn't really beautiful. She just said it was beautiful. So for a while, I had it in my house. And then after a while, I thought, I don't like this. This disturbs my spirit every time I walk by. This is just so suffering and negative. And so I put it in the closet. Well, every time I walk by the closet, I could hear, and I could just feel that energy. So finally, I just gave it away at a yard sale. I was just like, I don't like this experience. I don't like how it's leaving me feel. It's leaving me very ungrounded and very disturbed in my nervous system. So granted, I'm an extremist, but I never regretted it. I did feel guilty and told my sister eventually, and she said, don't feel bad. I hated it too. It's why I gave it to you. So we both laughed. Adios. The key is this. First, start with your home. If it doesn't feel right, and if you're with the wrong people, I gotta tell you, you'll never be grounded if you're with the wrong people. So you have to be honest and you have to start asking yourself, why am I here? What are my options? Go back to what we talked about in part 2. Who am I? What are my priorities and values? I am going to be self-interested. So if I'm with the wrong people, I got to go and do. And don't feel the need necessarily to explain everything other than it doesn't support who I am. Same thing goes with work. A lot of people are in this great resignation. It's because they're so ungrounded in the jobs that they have. It's like, I don't want to do that. And I don't blame you. None of us should be doing what ungrounds us. But here's something else that ungrounds us is that we are dependent on others to meet our basic needs. If you're a self-sufficient, healthy adult, part of what grounds you is to use your talents to meet your own basic needs. So don't have to do it in a job that doesn't work for you. Maybe you want to work for yourself. Who knows? Make that clear to yourself and do that. But do not feel that you have to be stuck in an experience or a place that is toxic for you. It'll never ground you, ever. And it will, I don't care how you rationalize it financially, it is undermining your basic need to be safe. So again, no emergency, be calm, be objective, be practical, but do not be in any place for 1 minute longer than you have to that isn't safe for you. Just don't. Just don't. Just ask the universe, ask your divine self to, and I have a prayer, and I've even shared this on some of my Instagrams and TikToks, and I'll share it here. I have a prayer that I use every morning. Divine Spirit, move me in the direction of my highest good this day. Move my mind, move my words, move my emotions, move my body in the direction of my highest good and the good for all concerned this day. Tell you what, that's a very grounding prayer, and that'll get you aligned with the kind of situations and environment that you need to feel safe. At the core of this is we're building off of the level 2 self-interest, and now we go into level 3 self-love. I love myself, and I am going to make choices that reflect that love. I am going to make choices that insist on an environment that I love to be in. This is a really ambitious goal for a lot of people, but don't shoot or settle for anything less. If you set your mind to this and you decide this is what you need, and you want this to be grounded so that your life can thrive and you can bring your absolute best self to the world, then the universe will open up for you. And that prayer, Divine Spirit within me, move me, which is partly grounding, in the direction of my highest good and the good for all concerned. Watch what happens. It's extraordinarily grounding. Extraordinarily, you will be safe. So these three parts put together, self-nurturing, self-interested, self-loving, is what creates a grounded experience. So thanks for listening to these three very important messages about how to be grounded, because it is the foundation for you to have an extraordinary life. And you deserve it, and don't settle for anything less. Thanks for listening. And once again, if you're new or if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to my channel. And if you know anybody who can benefit from these tutorials, send them along and share them. The more we all are grounded, the more we'll all begin to feel safe. And wouldn't that be just a beautiful miracle? Okay, everybody, all my love. I'll see you again soon. Bye.